The MCU is the biggest franchise in cinematic history, and just about every actor out there is secretly hitting the gym in hopes of joining the Marvel Universe. However, not everyone wants to be involved. It will surprise you to know that many A-listers have turned down roles in the successful films. So today on Beyond the Screen, we're going to be counting down our list of the top 10 actors who refused massive Marvel roles, Part 2. Coming in at 10, Bryan Cranston, Sebastian Shaw. Yep, that's right, once upon a time, Breaking Bad star Bryan Cranston was almost the world's most evil mutant. The Emmy-winning actor was on the set of Total Recall when he admitted that he was briefly up for the part of Sebastian Shaw in X-Men First Class, the role that eventually went to Kevin Bacon. Now, what turned the actor away from Marvel, you may ask? Drive. Yep. According to Cranston, he had the choice to play Shaw or a supporting character in the Ryan Gosling thriller movie. And of course, he chose the latter due to its irresistible script. I quote, "At the same time I read Drive and I thought, oh, this is what I'd rather do. I turned down X-Men for the role in Drive because I liked the character better. Much better. The experience with Ryan Gosling and Albert Brooks and Ron Perlman and Carey Mulligan. It was terrific." Coming in at 9, Dougray Scott, Wolverine. It's been 19 years since Hugh Jackman first appeared on our cinema screens as the formidable Wolverine, and at this point we can't quite imagine any other actor taking on the role. However, Jackman wasn't actually the first choice for the original X-Men film, which may shock some of you. While speaking to the Aussies in Hollywood podcast, Jackman revealed that he got the role after Scottish actor Dougray Scott withdrew due to scheduling conflicts with Mission Impossible 2. Don't feel too bad for Scott though. When walking on a red carpet a few years ago, he admitted he turned down the role because he didn't want to do it. However, I'm not too sure I believe that. In at 8, Sam Rockwell, Iron Man. Much like our previous number, Tony Stark has become an iconic character in cinema, and imagining anyone taking on the role of Iron Man that isn't Robert Downey Jr. is quite the challenging ask. However, it turned out that another actor nearly took his place from the very beginning of development. Early on, Jon Favreau had expressed interest in giving the role of Tony Stark to Sam Rockwell. Favreau approached the actor about potentially doing a screen test as the title character. However, it didn't pan out, and Robert Downey Jr. eventually beat out Rockwell. There were no hard feelings though, because Sam Rockwell later returned to Marvel 2 years later, portraying the smarmy industrialist Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2. Coming in at 7, Quentin Rampage Jackson, John Wraith. If you're unfamiliar with Quentin Rampage Jackson, he is known as one of the world's best MMA fighters of all time. Like a handful of athletes, he also tried his hand at acting. Some successful, others not so much. His most prominent role is playing B.A. Baracus in the A-Team. However, that wasn't the only major Hollywood blockbuster he could have starred in. Almost 10 years ago now, he had the opportunity to play John Wraith in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Jackson revealed that he passed on the role to focus on his MMA career, with Marvel eventually turning to rapper will.i.am, who took on the role of John Wraith. Coming in at 6, Mel Gibson, Odin. Actor and director Mel Gibson has had many ups and downs in the industry, particularly downs, with the actor being on the outs with a lot of big-time Hollywood execs. However, Gibson was very close to landing the role of Thor's father Odin in the MCU. In an interview with the actor, he was asked if he had ever been approached for a superhero film. I quote, "Yeah, long time ago, to play Thor's dad." However, Gibson wasn't a fan and turned down the role, which was eventually given to Anthony Hopkins. I think we're all pretty happy about that. In at 5, Olivia Munn, Vanessa Carlyle. I'm sure there are many people out there who would love to be Deadpool's girlfriend, even play Deadpool's girlfriend. However, Olivia Munn is not one of those people. The newsroom actress who went on to play Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse told news outlets that the original role she was offered was a far cry from the sword-wielding badass. According to reports, she was set to play Vanessa in Deadpool, but was unsatisfied with the character's depth and limited action. Preach. Coming in at 4, Alexander Skarsgård, Thor. 10 long years ago, when Thor was in development and attempting to cast the role of God of Thunder, Hollywood heartthrob Alexander Skarsgård came very close to nabbing the prize. Skarsgård stated, I quote, "Yeah, I met with Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige a few times and the director Kenneth Branagh." According to reports, the casting process got so far along that the actor even filmed an audition in the complete Thor costume, hammer and all. However, as we know, he ultimately lost the role to Chris Hemsworth, but Skarsgård has said that he has an open mind about one day landing another comic book based role. Fingers crossed. Coming in at 3, Jensen Ackles, Hawkeye. Did you know star of CW Supernatural Jensen Ackles once auditioned for the role of Captain America, but more famously, Hawkeye. After missing out on the role of Cap, Marvel apparently took a liking to Ackles and offered him the role of Hawkeye instead. However, Ackles was very quick to turn it down due to scheduling conflicts with Supernatural. The show that never seemed to end. Thank God it's over now. Now, no one is quite sure whether Ackles was truthful about him turning down the role, considering he did audition for the role of Cap, and if his schedule was catering to that, then surely he would have been able to take on the role of Hawkeye as well. Just saying. Someone's a little bitter. Coming in at 2, Olivia Wilde, Gamora. A long time ago, Olivia Wilde was asked about superhero movies and the possibility of making Captain Marvel with her Meadowland director Reed Morano. She was open to the possibility and discussed how Marvel has been incredibly smart regarding their casting choices, even that of Gamora, a role which she was close to nabbing. However, Wilde turned down the role for unknown reasons, which led to Zoe Saldana taking on the role. And finally, coming in at number 1, Matt Damon, Daredevil. A few years back, veteran actor Matt Damon told reporters that he had turned down the role his childhood friend Ben Affleck went on to play in Daredevil. He discussed how as children the comic they always read was Daredevil. I quote, "For us it was always Daredevil. That's the comic we read when we were kids. But when that one came along, I chickened out because I couldn't tell. I hadn't seen the director's work and I didn't know, so I just said no." Following his refusal of the role, his best friend Ben Affleck told him that he had to do it, so he took it. The film did okay, but ultimately bombed in the eyes of fans and critics alike. However, Ben was ultimately very proud of it, and I guess that's all that matters, but I can't help but think that Damon dodged a massive bullet there. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? Were there any actors we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Beyond the Screen vid. Until next time, see you later.